Okay, when we consider the x as 2, n as 1, t as 0, and they got something called iterate, which is taken as true, right? And then Only, hold on. Yeah, what is the change? Yes. Yeah, do I a printing mistake එකක් එන්න ඕනේ. මේ පුතේ original paper එකේ මම refer කරන්න show it should be the correct one. Only it's better you make the changes, right? So iterate equals to true. Then it says while iterate. Iterate means true. So while true, that means statement is true. You are asking something for y. So we are going to give 5, right? So then t equals t plus 5, 0 plus 5, t will become 5. Then they ask if n is equals to x. N is not equals to x. So this statement is false. Then this will happen, n equals n plus 1. So n will become 2. Right? So then, yes, n will become 2. Then while iterate, still iterate value is true. So then ask for another value. So we are going to give 4. Then 4 plus 5 will happen. That means t will become 9. Then again ask this question, if n equals x. Now x is equals to n. Then it says iterate equals false. So this will become false. It is not going to execute the else part. Then goes back. And here now iterate value is false. So that means while false. So we exit from the while and print t. T is 9. So it is giving us the exact output. Right? Ek ටිකක් challenging question එකක් ළමයි. You have to work more to have the answer. Right? Okay, people, is that clear? Right. Okay. Right. The next one is 32nd. Consider the following statement regarding an automatic teller machine, ATM, of a bank. System shall dispense cash in less than 10 seconds. Which of the following is correct with respect to the above statement? Yeah, here they have talked about essential, non-essentialness, as well as functional, non-functional one. So how it is being categorized? Requirements, there are 2 types. What? Functional, non-functional. Then again, functional, non-functional, they divide into 2 categories: essential and nice to have. This is also divided into 2, essential and nice to have. Right? So what they are asking is, consider the following statement regarding an automatic teller machine of a bank. System shall dispense cash in less than 10 seconds. So they are talking about a time limitation. Function, here the function is dispensing the cash. So if it says system shall be able to dispense the cash, it is going to be a functional requirement. Here they are explaining how the function should happen, right? Like in with limits, the functions are going to happen. So it is clearly talking about a non-functional one. And why we are like moving to an ATM? To dispense the cash as soon as possible, right? Otherwise, we will go into the bank and give the bank book and do the withdrawal. No? So like the reason for an ATM is to be quicker in our transaction. So this explains system shall dispense cash in less than 10 seconds. It is related to the efficiency. And efficiency is a must when it comes to the ATM, right? So it is an essential non-functional requirement, right? So it's going to be an essential non-functional requirement, the very first answer. 30 seconds. Right? So when it comes to these kind of questions, it's better you correctly identify what is the functional and what is the non-functional things. Always remember, functional is something which is done by the system. Non-functional means how good they are doing that thing, right? Within what limits, right? කරන දේවල් ටික ඉන්නේ functional පැත්තට. system එකට කරන්න පුළුවන් දේ. මොන විදිහටද ඒක කරන්නේ? නැත්නම් කොච්චර හොඳට කරනවද? කොච්චර නරකට කරනවද? නැත්නම් මොන සීමාවන් යටතේද මේ functions ටික කරන්න කියන එක එන්නේ non-functional පැත්තට. Right? So on that point, you have to figure out whether it is something essential or something nice to have. Right? Is that clear, people? Okay. Right. Moving to the next question, 33rd. Consider the following data flow diagram. According to the structured system analysis and design methodology, SSADM, the component A, B, and C. Right? A is an external entity, B is a process, C is a data store. Right? So external entity, process, and data store, not the data flow. So one is wrong because of this. Second one is wrong because A is not the process, B is not an entity. Not the user. Here again, not the user. So the fifth one is going to be the answer. External entity, process, and data store. Yeah. So this is going to be the correct one. Right. So 33rd, fifth one is the answer. Moving to the 36th. Yes. Okay. Normalization. Consider the following statement. A programmer works for at most one project at a given time. Okay, let's go through the database and see. Consider the following relation to answer question 36 to 38. Programmer, program ID, program name, gender, NIC, mobile phone number, degree, university name. Client, client ID, client name, address, telephone number. Okay, project, project ID, project name, client ID, start date, end date, cost. Work for, program ID, project ID, start date, and end date. Consider the following statement. A programmer works for at most one project at any given time. So they are talking about the programmer. So if you think about the programmer, program ID can be found here as well as program ID can be found over here. So they are talking about programmer and a project. So this is project. Project ID is over here, as well as we can find project ID over here. Right? So that means two separate entities, that is called programmer and project, and another separate table, which is work for, which contains programmer ID, project ID both. When programmer is having a relationship with project in many-to-many format. Neither we know the third table will be generated in many-to-many due to the many-to-many relationship. Right? So that means one programmer is working for many projects, and one project is worked by many programmers. Right? So the argument that they are throwing, a programmer works for at most one project. At most, project. So it is wrong. Right? Then the part B says a programmer is assigned to a single client at any given time. A programmer is assigned to a single client. Now, we don't really have a clue. Say what is the relation between programmer and the client? Because programmer is having program ID, program name, gender, NIC, mobile phone number, degree, and university name. Client has client ID, client name, address, telephone number. So it says programmer is assigned to a single client at any given time. There is no clue to say something like that. Right? So for that reason, we can say it is incorrect. Because if the program and client is going to have a relationship, either the program ID should be in the client schema or the client ID should be in the programmer schema, or else they have to create a separate table. So no separate table, no primary key swapping. So there shouldn't be a direct relationship in between a programmer and the client. Right? Part C says one client can have more than one project. So that is regarding client and the project. So client has client ID, client name, address, telephone number. Project has client ID over here. So the primary key of the client is replicated on project. So that could happen in a one-to-one relationship as well as one-to-many relationship. Right? But definitely, if it's going to be one-to-one, one-to-many, definitely M is going to the project side. Right? So if we think about the project and the client, if it is one-to-one, client ID can be copied into the project entity, or the project ID can be copied to the client entity, the client schema. But if it is 1 to M, definitely the client ID should be copied inside the project schema. Right? ඒක නිසා client ID එක project එක පැත්තට යන්න 1 to many එකක් නම් M එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ පැහැදිලිවම project එක පැත්තේ. client ගේ පැත්තට M එකක් එන්න බෑ කොයිම වෙලාවකවත්. මේ දෙන්න අතර relationship එක 1 to 1 වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්, 1 to many වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. 1 to many වුණොත් the M should be goes with the project. Right? So it says one client can have more than one project. It is not a must. තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. Yes, possible. If it is 1 to many, one client can have more projects, and one project is belongs to only one client. If it is 1 to many, 1 to 1 not one project, one client can have only one project, and one project can have only one client. So the always correct එක ගත්තොත්, you can take C as the correct one. So 36, is it the answer? Yeah, third one is the answer. Lamai, is that clear?
So පොඩි අවුලක් තියෙනවා මේ capital A statement එක වැරදි කියලා ගත්ත එක. අර work for කියලා translation එකක් ගහලා තියෙනවනේ සර්. අර many to many relationship එක තියෙන හින්දා.
Oh.
ඒක නිසාත්
project නෑ මෙතන දීලක කියන්නේ මේ වාක්‍යයෙන් කියන්නේ programmer works for at most one project at any given time කියලානේ. ඒ කියන්නේ එක ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑමර්ට උපරිම වශයෙන් එක ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් එකකයි වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක තමයි ඒකෙන් එන්නේ. ඒතර many to many නම් අපි එහෙම නෙවෙයි මේක. You keep the bag on the table, Susu. Keep the bag on the table. Okay, and take the other things and keep on this table. Take all other and keep it on this table. It's okay. Keep the rest here. Susu, keep the rest here. Here. This table, Susu. Okay. Keep it there. Okay. Never mind. Erogo. දීලක තේරුණාද කොතනද අවුල කියන එක?
ඔව් සර් අර මේ වාක්‍ය දීලා තියෙන එකේ වැරද්ද තියෙන්නේ.
වාක්‍ය දීලා තියෙන එකේ වැරද්ද. ඒ කියන්නේ උපරිම වශයෙන් එකයි තියෙන්නේ කියලා කියනවා. right. එතනයි ගැටලුව තියෙන්නේ. හරි?
හරි සර් හරි.
Okay. So 37th, which of the following is correct with respect to attribute of the relations? Which of the following is correct with respect to the attributes of the relations? Right. Attribute gender, NIC, and mobile phone are candidate keys of the programmer relation. The candidate keys can be something which should be identified uniquely. Candidate keys when primary keys when primary key when sudusukam tiyanai. So NIC and mobile phone, yes, we can consider those two as candidate keys because they are pretty unique, but not the gender. Right, so because of that, one is wrong. In the second one, it says attribute start date is a derived attribute. Start date is a derived attribute. Like there are two start dates, right? And they are not specifying which start date that they are talking about. And again, a start date, we cannot derive it from something නේද project එකක් පටන් ගන්න දවස නැත්නම් වැඩ කරන්න පටන් ගත්ත දවස කියන එක දැන් project එකේ තියෙන start date එක තියෙන්නේ project එක start කරන්න කවද්ද කියන එක work for කියන එකේ start date එක තියෙන්නේ like which programmer on which project that they are start working, right? And again both the start dates cannot be derived. We describe the derived attribute using the date of birth and the age, something like that. So when we have date of birth, we can say what is the age of a particular person. But start date cannot be argued like that, right? So for that reason, we can take this as an incorrect answer, right? And attribute NIC can be considered as an alternate key for a programmer relation. Yeah. Because now in the programmer relation, programmer ID has been chosen as the primary key. So earlier we talked about NIC and telephone number can be considered as a candidate keys. So before a primary key is given to the programmer ID, NIC, mobile phone number can be taken as the candidate keys. So once the programmer ID is chosen from those three, then NIC and telephone number will be alternate keys, right? So this is correct. Attribute start date is a foreign key for the work for relation. No. Foreign key, who can be the foreign key? A primary key of another table can be a foreign key in another relation. So start date is not a primary key in any relation. So it is not a foreign key. Each record in the work for relation can be uniquely identified by using project ID. Each record in the work for relation can be uniquely identified by using project ID. No, not only by using project ID. We need both. So because of that, it is wrong. So third one should be the answer. Got it? Okay. So in the 38th, it says, which of the following is correct? So it is asking all relations are in third normal form, right? So let me clear the things on the relations, otherwise we won't be getting a good view of that. Now it says what? Programmer, programmer ID, programmer name, gender, NIC, mobile phone, degree, university name is there. For client, client name, address, telephone number. So clearly client can be taken as third normal form, because on the client ID, client name, address, telephone number, everything is depending. No transitive dependencies, no repetition of columns. So no repetition of columns means it is in first normal form. Every non-primary key attribute depending on the primary key means second normal form. No transitive dependency means third normal form, right? So it is 3NF, clearly. When it comes to the project, project ID, project name, client ID, we know it is working as a foreign key, so we don't need to bother about that. Start date, end date, and cost. So for a project, there can be a project name, a start date for it, an end date for it, and the cost of it. So that means, again, no unwanted repetitions. On the project ID, project name, start date, end date, cost, everything is depending because those are the attributes of the project. And then no transitive dependencies is here. So then project can also be taken as the third normal form. Work for programmer ID, project ID, start date and end date. So this start date and end date, we can assume like those are the start date and end date of a programmer which start to work on a particular project and which end the work on a particular project. So start date and end date, both are depending on the entire primary key, right? No unwanted repetition. So one first normal form qualified. Depending on the primary key fully, second normal form qualified. No transitive dependencies, third normal form qualified. The problem lies with the programmer, right? It seems to be a good one. Programmer ID, programmer name, gender, NIC, mobile phone number, degree, university name, right? So like all the things are depending on the programmer ID. And if you think about the degree and the university name, right, that is going to be something related, right? When we are having a particular degree, we always say like from where the degree is being taken, it is from this particular university. There are universities which are not offering some particular degrees, right? So you have to specify, or like, what university can offer is what university has with them, right? The Morato University එකට MBBS එකක් දෙන්න බෑ, right? And Columbia University එකට electronic engineering degree එකක් දෙන්න බෑ. So it depends. හැම university එකම common ඒවා තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. නොතියෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right? So the degree and the university depends on each other. So that means transitive dependency is there. So because of that, programmer is in second normal form, not in the third normal form. So in the 38, they are asking the correct one. All the relations are in the third normal form? No. All relations except the programmer are in third normal form? Yes, that is correct. All relations except the client are in the third normal form? No, client is in the third normal form. This is wrong. Here, all relations except the project. Project is in the third normal form. Wrong. All except work for in the third normal form. So it is wrong. So we can go second one as the correct answer. Got it, Namai? All right. So 39. Yeah, 39 says primary key, data type, foreign key. Which of the above constraint does not allow user to duplicate data in the database table? Primary key definitely not allowing to have the duplicate things, right? And which of the above constraint does not allow user to duplicate data in a database table? Data type and foreign key, they actually does not bother about repeating the things. Like data type, definitely not, right? Foreign key, again, foreign key constraint says about the relationship, right? But not about the duplication, right? So data type is not involving, foreign key is not involving. So it's A only for the 39th, right? So the 40th, which of the following action is taken by database management system when SQL statement delete from item is executed? Yeah, delete from item. So delete from item means it is affecting on the item table. So it says delete from item. So delete from statement is there to delete data. So delete from item will delete all the data from the table because there is no any specific condition, right? So if it says delete from item where item equals T001, then only the first one is going to be deleted. Here they don't have any argument. So it will delete all the data from the item table, right? So first one says it will ask the user to select records for deletion. No, it's not going to ask like that. It may delete all the records from the item table. Yes. It will drop the item table. No. To drop the table, we need to use drop table statement. It will not delete any record from the item table. No, it will delete all the records from the item table. The SQL statement will not be executed. It does not have any errors, so it is going to execute. So the correct answer is the second one. Right?
Sir, පොඩි අවුලක් තියෙනවා හතලියේ.
ඔව් දීලක.
delete එකේ sir ව්‍යස්ත කැලලක් දාන්න ඕනේ නැද්ද ව්‍යස්ත statement එක?
ඔව් දාන්න ඕනේ. where එකක් දැම්මොත් දීලක අපිට specify කරන්න පුළුවන් මොකක් හරි එක තැනක් delete කරන්න. where එක නොතිබ්බොත් දීලක වෙන්නේ ඔක්කොම ටික delete වෙනවා. මොකද එයා කියන්නේ delete item, delete from item කියලා එක විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට specification එකක් නැහැනේ. එයා ඔක්කොම delete කරලා දානවා. update එකත් ඔහොමමයි. right? අපි update කියලා set කියලා where එක නොලිව්වොත්, right? we got update මේ item table එකටම අදාළව update product set මොකක් හරි condition value එකක් දීලා විතරක් තිබ්බොත් where එකක් කියන්නේ නැතුව product කියන මුළු column එකම අර set කරන්න තියෙන value එකෙන් set වෙනවා. right? තේරුණාද? ඒ කියන්නේ condition එක update and delete statement වල critical කියලා කියන්නේ අපිට වැඩේ හරියට කරගන්න. නැත්නම් කියන මුළු එකටම apply වෙනවා. right?
හරි sir.
Okay. Then the 41st, which of the following is correct with respect to the above tables? All the tables are in the third normal form. Tables, let me clear the tables. All the tables are in the third normal form. So if we take item table, item and product is there. So we can say it is in the third normal form. Item supplier table, T001, S001, T002, S001, T002, S002. Yeah, so like it seems to be both the records should be taken to maintain a primary key. Because the item vitarak gato, it's repeating. If you take only supplier, it has duplicate values. So it needs to be, right? Item and supplier both should be taken. If so, we can say this is as in third normal form. So supplier table, supplier name, yes. So it is only supplier and its name. So we can say it is as third normal form. Delivery table, item, supplier, batch, quantity, and date. So item, supplier, T001, S001. Okay, then repeating. Right, අපිට මේ item and supplier විතරක් delivery එකට ගන්න බෑ. So in that case, we have to think about the batch as well. Now remember people, all these things are assumptions of ours, right? So item, supplier, batch. If we take like that, we can find something unique, right? So it seems to be third normal form, right? Those are the assumptions that we do. Let's see about the things. All the tables are in third normal form. So it seems to be okay. Normalization has been applied to these tables. It's like this. We don't know whether they have applied the normalization or not, because they just give us the given the tables here. So it seems to be normalized. The only problem is they haven't specified what are the primary keys regarding these tables, right? So we have to assume integrity constraint are correctly applied to these tables. Integrity constraint කියන එක refer වෙන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට foreign keys සම්බන්ධයෙන් preferential integrity කියලා අපි කතා කරනවා. So like we don't know how these entities are being related. මොකද අපිට ER diagram එකක් නැහැ. We can only do the assumptions only. So without an ER diagram, we can't say whether all the integrity constraint is applied properly or not. We don't have the clues, right? So the fourth one says there is no evidence to say that integrity constraints are properly applied. Yeah, now that is a very good answer. මොකද අපි ඇත්තටම දන්නේ නැහැ how these things are working. Normalization and integrity constraints are properly applied. The best answer is going to be the fourth one, people. There is no evidence to say that integrity constraints are properly applied. Right? අපිට third normal form කියන එකත් අපි කරන assumption එක. Right? So එතනත් second එකකට ඕනනම් අපිට assumption එකේම ඉන්න පුළුවන්. Normalization has been applied to these tables. We can assume, okay, it is being applied. Right? Why we have to assume that? Because we don't know what's the relationship. Right? දැන් මේකේ ප්‍රශ්නේ nature එක අනුව මම මේ කතා කරන්නේ. මොකද ඒගොල්ලෝ දීලා තියෙනවා මේ fourth answer එක වගේ answer එකක්. Right? So that could be the best answer. There is no evidence to say that the integrity constraints are properly applied. Right? Other four answers are just the, like we have to make those things upon the assumptions. Right? Got it, people? Okay. Right, 43rd then. A file of 1 MB has been successfully sent from the machine X to machine Y in network over a TCP connection, transmission control protocol connection. And hold on. Yeah, it says it has been observed that the 10th byte, now X and Y machines are on a network which has TCP connections, right? It has been observed that the 10th byte of the file has passed through the router R. Consider the following statement regarding this communication. So machine X to machine Y, right? So machine X will be here. machine Y will be somewhere else. Since it is transmission control protocol, it really needs a router, right? So since it is a TCP, TCP is an internet protocol related protocol. That means you will be finding many routers in between this communication, right? So it's kind of a web, right? So what they are saying is either 10th byte, right? So let's say this is the 10th byte. So 10th byte has passed through the router R. So let's say the router that they are considering is this. I'm sorry, this is the connected one. This is the router that they are talking about. So now 10th byte has gone through this. Right? So we can assume that this 10th byte is routing on this particular path. Right? Consider the following statement regarding this communication. The 10,000th byte must have gone through the router R after the 10th byte. We can't say that. Mokada routing valadi tiyana concept එක තමයි where you can see a less traffic, direct the data packet onto that particular path. Right? එතකොට X වල ඉඳලා Y වලට යනකොට data එක packets වලට කැඩුනයින් පස්සේ sender ගේ machine එකේ routers through තමයි data packets ටික it's going to go to the destination Y. So those packets will route through different kinds of paths. The only thing that matters, if it send 10,000 packets from the sender, all 10,000 packets should be received at the receiver's end. It doesn't matter in which road that they are going to travel or which routers that they are going to pass. Right? So we can't say exactly if the 10th one passed the router R, 10,000 one also going to pass the router R. Right? මේ දෙන්නම involve වෙන routers දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ හැම packet එකක්ම involve වෙන routers දෙකක් තියෙනවා. It is the sender's router and the receiver's router. Right? Sender router එක pass කරගෙන හැම packet එකකටම යන්න වෙනවා because it is the default gateway or the gateway from one network. And receiver's router needs to be touched by every packet because it is the gateway to get into the computer Y. The other routers, it doesn't matter, right? ඕනම පාරකින් එක ගෙදරක gate 2 ගාව ඉඳලා තව ගෙදරක gate 2 ගාවට එන්න පුළුවන්. එන පාර අදාළ නැහැ අපිට guarantee කරන්නත් බෑ හැම packet එකක්ම මේ පාර එනවා කියලා. So because of that we can say this is not going to be a correct one. The 10,000 byte must have gone through the same path from X to Y. Again, we can't guarantee they are going on the same path. They may have different paths to come to the destination. So this cannot be. The 10,000 byte may or may not have gone through the router X. It is the only one that we can consider as a correct answer. So it should be the third one. Right, so the 43rd answer contains third as the correct answer. 43rd question is going to have the third as the correct answer. Is that clear, people? Okay. Right. So after 43rd, it's 44th. The Python. Hand tracing. Okay. So from 44th to 47th, they are depending on this. So consider the following statement about this Python code. It contains a comment. Does it? Yes, clearly it is contained in a comment. Here's the comment. So this is correct. It contains a definition of function. Yeah, clearly this is the definition of function. So it is correct. It does not contain any selections. That is wrong because there is a selection. This is the selection. If condition, it contains the selection. It does not contain an iteration. Again, it is wrong. For loop is an iteration, right? So only A and B is going to be considered as the correct answers, right? So the 44th, it's the first one. And yeah, you haven't asked about the 45th, but the 46th. What is the return data type of the function name f? Yeah, you can see it's returning two things. And remember, when you are returning things, if you are not specifying any brackets, by default, it's going to be a tuple, right? If it has more than one element not being specified inside the brackets, it's going to be considered as a tuple, right? Api tuple packing කියලා concept එකක් කරා ඔයගලන්ට මතක ඇති. Same kind of effect is going to effect on this, right? So the 45th, the answer is a tuple.
Sir, පොඩි අවුලක් තියෙනවා.
Not the 45th. Hold on. 45th, no, 46th. No, the 46th, it's a tuple. Oh, Dilaka.
අපි ස්පෙසිෆයි කරනවා නම් කොතනද ඒක ස්පෙසිෆයි කරන්න ඕනේ සර්?
ඒ කියන්නේ මේ රිටර්න් වෙන ටයිප් එක මොකක්ද කියන එකද?
ඔව්.
ඒක දීලක අපි මෙතනින් මෙහෙම ස්පෙසිෆයි කරලා එවන්න ඕනේ. දැන් ලිස්ට් එකක් නම් අපිට රිටර්න් කරගන්න ඕනේ මෙතන. We are going to return this as this brackets දෙක දාලා ස්පෙසිෆයි කරා නම් හරි. Return n1, n2 likewise.
හරි සර් හරි.
එහෙම වුණොත් ලිස්ට් එක යනවා. Brackets නැති නිසා it's going to be a tuple.
හරි සර්.
Right? Okay. Then in the 47th, which of the following value is in the output of the above program? Okay. Definitely two things are going to be there. So definitely the 4th and 5th is not going to be the answers anyway. So let's do the hand tracing. Right. So if we hand trace this, there is a variable called temp, which is a list, right? When there is a list, please mark the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Since they are not referring the -1, don't bother about the minuses. Then you are going to meet the definition. It's not going to happen until it is being called. So from here to here, they are not executing. This is the place where it's going to execute. So inside the print statement, there is a function called f, and they are passing the temp variable, which is this, right? So the temp variable will be assigned to the b, right? So in other words, this temp is equals to b as well. Right? Now, in the definition, it says n1, n2 equals b0, b0, right? So that means n1 variable will be there. Hold on, people. And n2 will be there. So it's b0, b0. b0 means what? Now temp and b are the same thing. So b0 means 23. So both these things will be 23. Then it says for m in b. For m in b means m will be referring this b. That means this list. Right? So what it says, m in b. So m will become 23 for the first time. Then it asks if m larger than n1. m is 23 larger than n1. No, they are not larger than, they are similar to each other. So this is wrong. Then it goes to the second if m less than n2, m is not less than n2, they are equal. So this is not going to happen again. Then the return statement will not happen because we are inside the for loop. So once it reaches this, it will return to the for again. So then m will be taken as the second one, so which is the 45. Now they are asking the question again, if m larger than n1. So m means 45, n1 means 23. So it is true now. This is true. So if it is true, it says what? Assign m to n1. So you are going to assign 45 to 23, right? 45 to 23. So 23 will be assigned with 45, right? Then again, the question is asking m is less than n2. M is not less than n2. So as usual, this is not going to happen. Goes again to the m, to the for loop, and checks, okay, now m is going to be 2. So this is going to be 2. Oh, I'm sorry. M is going to become 2. Then again ask the question, m larger than n1. M is 45. N1 is 45, m is 2. So this is wrong. And next is asking about m is less than n2. N2 is 23. M is 2 for the moment. So this is correct now. So it says assign m to the n2. So then n2 is going to be 2. Goes up again. M will be given the value with -2. So then again, m is larger than n1. M is -2. N1 is 45. So it is not larger than. Again, the condition is false. Then goes to the next if. It says m less than n2. M is -2. N2 is 2. So it is less. It is correct again. So m is assigned to the n2. So n2 will be -2. Goes up again, m will become 0. So m is larger than n1. M means 0. N1 is 45. So it is not, it is wrong. M is less than n2. So the m is 0. N is -2. And this is false as well this time. So nothing going to happen. And now it is goes and check m again. There is nothing to be checked. That means list is over. So it comes to the return statement. And return statement says return n1, n2. So n1 means 45, n2 means -2. Right? So the output is going to be, they are asking, yeah, return n1, n2. So it's 45 and -2. This particular answer. Okay, is that clear, people? To the 45th, it's the second answer. 47th, I'm sorry. Right. 48. Consider the following Python program. Temp 23, 45, 2, -2, 0. So it's asking print : 2, slicing operator. So : 2 means what? In the slicing operator, we got 3 things. What are the 3 things? This explains start. This explains end. This explains step. So they haven't specified start, they haven't specified end, but they have specified the step. That means what? Start from the beginning, goes until the end, but 2 by 2. So what happened? 23 will be printed, then 2 will be printed, then 0 will be printed as a list, right? So third one is going to be the answer, right? So for 48, third one is going to be the answer. 49th, which of the following is incorrect about the software agent? They exhibit some degree of autonomy. Yes, that is correct. They are subset of a reactive system. They are subset of a reactive system. Yeah, can be taken. Let's see. They are proactive in terms of their ability to exhibit goal-directed behavior. Yeah, that is correct. Electronic commerce is one of the key application area of them. Yes, they got software agents in e-commerce website. They are always cooperative in multi-agent system. No, there are two types of people. There are cooperative and there are self-oriented. So this is, they are not always cooperative. So this is wrong. 49th, it's the fifth one. Right, so people, that's all that you are asking me to discuss. So send me the number, how good you got in the MCQ. Okay, Oneli, that's a good mark, right? So keep it up and try to pass the 45th, right? Dilaka, yeah, learn the mistakes, Buddha. You have to come to the level, right? How about the others? Right. ළමයි මාව clearly ඇහෙනව නේද? Connection එක පොඩ්ඩක් disconnect වුණා. Right, great, great. Yes, others? How about you people? Sasita? Ah, okay. Right, Sasita, තව ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕනේ, right? Okay, so since we got 10 more minutes, let's move to the second paper, the first question, the first structure question as well, right? So 2015 structured. Okay, so the first question is about the HTML. Excuse me. So yeah, they have given a particular output and they're asking you to fill the blanks, right? Let's go by the marking scheme. So here it goes. Yeah, so here input type text should be there. That is the place that they are talking about. Name and size. I think they are in the answer script, right? So then After this div class equal R, the text area should be there, right? Because of that big box, you should be understand it is not a text box, but it is a text area. So starting and ending text both should be there. Then only 1 marks can be taken. Then the value is going to be equals, within inverted commas, send your message, and in there S must be a capital one in the send word, right? So see whether you got everything, then you can collect 3 marks for that. Right, so the second question is asking, a well-formed syntactically correct HTML code has been deployed to render a web page which includes an image of a school. However, the browser does not display the image. Instead, it only displays the text school, which is given as the text attribute of ALT, right? Give 2 possible reasons for this behavior. So this is syntactically correct. Syntactically correct means you are using the tags and all these things very clearly and correctly, right? So they're asking what kind of a reasons that can be there. So there can be many different reasons. Source link is incorrect. Api type කරන එකක් නේ. Double quotes ඇතුලේ source link එක දෙනකොට maybe it will be given as an incorrect one. Right? So browser does not support the image. Problems in downloading the image onto the browser. Image has been corrupted. As well as you can go with the name of the image is incorrect. නම වැරදි කියලා කියන්නේ syntactic error එකක් නෙවෙයි ළමයි. Right? Syntax error එකක් කියලා අපිට අරගන්න වෙන්නේ. Double quotes දාලා නැත්නම් equal mark එක පාවිච්චි කරලා නැත්නම්, right? ඊළඟට tag name එක හරියට define කරලා නැත්නම්, those are going to be the incorrect syntax for the HTML. Right? Define location is wrong. Yeah, you can take as the answer. Extension is wrong. Define location is wrong. Right? Name is wrong. Case is wrong. Right? Those kind of things. So 2 marks, they're asking 2 possible reasons. So if you got any alternative ideas, just let me know, people. Right? Yeah, in the third part, it is asking whether these CSS things are correct or incorrectness, or like if it is incorrect, they're asking you to write the correct one. So you have to be careful when you are giving the answers for this particular part, right? So for the first one, you can say this is correct, and you can say this is wrong, and go for the correct one, right? So P color colon red semicolon is correct. This is incorrect. And you have to say P, it should be font family, right? Font family, colon, Arial semicolon. Should be the curly braces, right? Should go like that. Right? And again here, you can say this is correct and this is incorrect. It is because it does not have a selector, right? So you can say body within curly braces, the same thing can be put, and the close of the curly brace. And for this, you can say it is correct. Right, let me show you the marking scheme. Right, so this is the marking scheme. Okay, hold on. Right, so these are the ways that they have given the marks.
Baby wants to swim now.
Not now, Susu, after that is class. Right, so the first one is incorrect, second one like this. In the second one, first line should be a correct. you can write the answer in these both manners. ඕනේ නම් එකකට කරලා ලියන්න පුළුවන් color colon red background dash color colon yellow කියලා එක body tag එකක් ඇතුළේ ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Or you can say the first line is correct and this is incorrect and this is the way it is going to be written. උඩ එක්කෙනත් ඔය විදිහටම කරන්න පුළුවන්. right ඒ කියන්නේ p tag එක ඇතුළට දාලා අර CSS rules දෙකම ලියන්න පුළුවන්. එක p tag එකක් ඇතුළට දාලා. right first එක බෑ මොකද මේ දෙන්න separate දෙකක් විදිහට දීලා තියෙනවා. So you have to go on that. second එක පුළුවන් වාට එහෙම කරන්න. third you can take it as the correct one. So see how the marks are been getting. So the first part 2 marks, second part 2 marks again. For the third part 1 mark only. Right. So that's the end of the first question. See how much you collect out of 10. Right, okay. Yes, Anili, that's a good mark. Right. So the second one, we'll quickly go through the second one and finish the session. So it is about the ones complement and two's complement calculation, right? So the first one, they are asking give representation of 10, 10 in the above device, right? So you have to represent it like this, 4 zeros, 1 0, 1 0. And then in the second part, minus 25 representation. So it should be 3 ones, 2 zeros, 3 ones, right? Right. And in the third question, they're asking explain the computation of 10, 10 minus 10, 25, 10 done by the device by using your representation given in the section 1 and 2 above. So you can add those numbers together and show the computation. When you are doing it, please put the plus sign. Right. And in the fourth part, they are asking list the steps necessary to transform the result obtained in section 3 above into decimal form in order to print the answer. List the steps necessary to transform the result obtained in section 3 above into decimal form in order to print the answer. Now, there you have to say the answer, like since we are having the negative answer, you can explain it on the negative manner as well. Check the most significant bit. If it is a 0, here they have given you a correct, a common answer over here. If it is positive, what to be done? If it is negative, what to be done? Since you you can relate it to the previous question and say, since the above computation, above results is going to, okay, stay with me. Above computation gives you the a value which has 1 as the most significant bit. It is negative. So do these things to have the the value of the negative number, right? So 1 mark is given for that as well, right? And in the B part, they are asking about this banking service and the ATM thing, right? It is asking state 2 reasons that can discourage bank customer from using internet banking services, right? So these are the answers that they are giving. the security, privacy, reliability type of thing, right? So anything related to these reasons, right? That is on work. You can't disturb, right? So any reason which is related to the security, privacy, and reliability, as well as they have taken hacking as well, you can take 2 marks, right? So you can say, since the credit card numbers kind of things need to be provided, they will have the doubts about the security problems, right? As well as the personal details need to be provided. Since it is asking, there can be a privacy issues. And since due to this kind of hacking and hijacking kind of things are there, reliability issues can be there. So likewise, you can argue and justify the reason. So 2 marks will be given for that. And in the second part, they are asking, do you agree that providing the proposed internet banking service is a B2C business type? Justify your answer. Yeah, so we can say it is a B2C because bank is the business and customer is a consumer, right? So it is an online service or electronically provided service by the bank to its consumers. So you can take it as B2C. Right, again, 2 marks is given. Right, so the very last question, as the very last question it is asking, the bank has realized that a significant number of loan applications they receive from their customers are getting rejected at the initial screening. Not now, Susu. Not now. Therefore, the management thinks you can swim after that he has done with the class, right? Therefore, the management thinks that their customer could be provided with an expert system-based loan pre-processing tool so that the customer disappointment could be reduced while saving the bank staff time. Do you agree with the idea? So we can say we are going to agree with the idea, right? Because this evaluation process should be done by a particular expert on that region, right? So expert system can easily be replicate this particular expert behaviors, right? So then customer will be sending their requirements or sending their inquiries to the expert system, and it will like provide the necessary answers then and there, right? So they will be in a good position, or like they will be in a stress-free position when it comes to the consumers as well as to the staff management as well, right? So 2 marks should be taken for saying yes, it is 1 mark. For the explanation, it should be 1 mark again. Onelli, let me see your answer, Dua. Because the expert system can check the essential and required criteria to provide the loan and accept the application documents, meet those requirements. Yeah, yes. Can give the marks for that dual. 1 mark can be given. Right, okay. So I'm going to end the session from here, people. So we'll discuss the rest of it by next week. So do the 2016 paper. If you are done with it, go for the 2017 likewise. And people don't try the 2020 paper, right? Let's do it as a exam environment thing, right? Eka වැඩිය බලන්න එපා. අපි fresh paper එකක් විදියට try කරමු ඒක, right? Then we have to discuss about it as well. And people, most probably there are news. They are allowing us to start the physical classes by first week of the November. If they are allowing, and again, if your parents are okay with it, I will be able to commence the class in my place. It will be much effective since we are discussing the papers. So just ask it from your parents as well, right? If they are confident to send you here, then we'll have the sessions physically, like by the first week of November. And again, still, the government should say something regarding that. It is not official still, right? Okay, so I'm going to end the session for this from this point, right? So I'll see you on next week for the very same time, people, right? So thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.